And so our practice today is called Sit With It. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what that means. And so we all kind of know that there tends to be stuff that we avoid. And it may feel like it's looming over us, or we kind of tend to give it cute pet names. We may say there's like a monkey on our shoulder or on our back, the weight of the world on our shoulders, the elephant in the room. We give it names, but we don't necessarily do anything to acknowledge it or comfort it, to transmute it or transform it, or to assimilate it. And so we often don't do that because we don't know how to do that. We're not taught how to process emotions. We're not taught how to be in our body. And we kind of lack the tools and the equipment to know how to do that in a way that feels safe, that feels like it can be self-nourishing, and that feels like we can give to ourselves that someone else doesn't necessarily have to do for us. And so I want to start to introduce you to more tools that allow you to sit with any discomfort you may be experiencing. And so, as I think you all understand, this is therapeutic yoga. So we do, of course, practice yoga asana, postures or poses, but we also use the practices of dhyana, which is meditation. We also use affirmations and intentions, which in Sanskrit is asankalpa. And we also use hand gestures or mudras. And so these can be very simple things like placing our hands together, and they can also be more complicated interlacing of the fingers. And so we do all of these things because we want to try to transform energy in this safe experimental atmosphere of the yoga practice and on our yoga mat. And so when we're using these tools in our practice, we want to safely and securely approach some of the things that make us uncomfortable, things that are looming maybe a little bit, or things that we just know we don't need anymore, that we can start to transform them because they're not serving us in their current state, either stuck in our body or blocking energy, or just making it more difficult to move through our life with confidence. And so in this practice, we're going to begin with some movement to address a certain area of the body, and we'll correlate that to a particular chakra in the body. We are going to work from the base of our body to our heart. Our heart is often considered the bridge between our kind of gross physical needs, what we need in our body, and the kind of more ethereal space of what's happening in our mind. So we're going to keep it body-centered during this practice so that we can safely experiment with the sensations of discomfort without the anxiety. We're not trying to avoid it. We are going there to kind of have tea and crackers with our demons. And so at any time during this practice, if it feels like too much, if you feel like you're not prepared to go there, know that you're always in charge of what is happening to you. So if you need to take some time out to rest in child's pose, if you need to allow yourself to cry, if you need to just lie down on the floor and give yourself time to breathe. At any time, you can redirect what is happening in your practice and in your body because you are always in control. And so with that, let's go ahead and we'll begin. So I think most of you are seated already. If you would like, go ahead and bring yourself onto a blanket. We want some sort of support here to lift our pelvis. I'll get my notes out of the way here. And so we're going to begin by just extending our legs out, becoming aware of the fact that we have legs. And I personally think it's really cool that we have limbs. I like to break the body down into thinking about the different areas of the body because truthfully, we know that if we didn't have the operation of our legs, if we didn't have legs, our body could still function. All of our major organs are basically in this area. We need our legs to help power our body. So go ahead and shake out your battery packs. You can roll your ankles, point and flex your feet, just acquainting yourself with the muscles of your legs, with the heaviness of your legs. And then as you start to feel comfortable with that, you can lean back and slide your feet in. Maybe one foot in front of the other feels comfortable for you this morning, or maybe you're more comfortable with the feet crossed. And now, if you notice that your knees are popped up and that you're kind of resting with the legs out in space, feeling a strain on the inner thigh and groin, you can place your blocks underneath to give your body something to comfortably relax into. At any time when we are seated, you also are allowed to sit against the wall or sit on a chair. You want to be comfortable while you're sitting. And so placing your hands on the tops of your thighs, wherever you may be, we'll inhale and sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, we're going to drop our left shoulder towards our right knee, and then move our right shoulder around to our left knee, and inhale all the way back to center. And so these are sometimes called Sufi swirls. We're going to do 3 rounds in one direction and then 3 rounds the opposite direction. So inhale, sit tall. Exhale, left shoulder towards right knee. Rolling over, right shoulder towards left knee. Inhaling, coming back to center. Exhaling right around, swirling with it, paying attention to what you're noticing in your lower back and pelvis. One more round, exhaling, left shoulder towards right knee. Coming on around, you can press into your hands, make it as much or as little movement as you like. When you finish 3 rounds, come back to center for just a pause. And then inhaling to sit up tall again. Let's exhale, right shoulder towards left knee, rolling it around, left shoulder towards right. Inhaling back up, feeling the stretch through your side body. This should feel nice and yummy. And you may feel your weight changing around on your feet, pressing more into one thigh and then the other. And then as you feel ready, come all the way back into center. And so releasing your arms down beside you now. Let's go ahead and just roll out the wrists a little bit, roll the shoulders. You can lift them up and down. Don't worry about what the movement looks like. Just notice how it feels in your body. And then reaching down through the lower half of your body. Think about pressing down into your legs, into your bottom. We're going to inhale and extend our arms out, reaching up overhead. Exhale and take it down. 2 more, just like that. Reaching down through your lower body. Inhale, reach up through your upper body. Exhale, take it down. Last time, inhale and extend it out, reach up. Gathering your energy up overhead. And then exhaling to take it down, releasing it back down towards the floor. We'll move into our first mudra meditation now. So opening your hands forward in front of you, tuck your thumbs just below the pinky into the palm of your hand. Wrap your fingers around your thumb and then place your hands palms down on the tops of your thighs. Inhaling to reach up through the crown of the head, you may want to close your eyes or allow your gaze to rest down towards the floor. This is our gesture of stone stillness, allowing us to drop into an awareness of our skeleton, feeling a sense of heaviness, deeply connected in our bones. As you allow the weight of your skeleton to rest in this position, allow your breath to sink deep into the base of your body. As you breathe, notice how it may feel to allow your exhale to be twice the length of your inhale. So if you breathe in for a 4 count, allow yourself to slowly breathe out for an 8 count. Now, if at any time that creates anxiety for you or feels stressful, return to your normal breath, knowing each breath is an opportunity to begin again. This gesture of stone stillness allows us to connect with our root chakra, our sense of stability, security, and safety. And so as we come to rest in this energy of security, notice if there is anything that resists your sense of safety. Often there are voices that will argue with what we are trying to create, or whatever intention we may hold. Allow that voice and see if you can comfort it. As you continue to breathe with a long exhale, you may affirm to yourself, I am safe at the center of myself. Breathing into this intention and noticing how it feels to hold this to be true. Notice the slowing of your heart rate and the feeling of heaviness, a lowering of your energy. Paying attention to how quickly and how easily you can change sensation and experience in your own body. Recognizing that you have this power. I am safe at the center of myself. As we prepare to exit our meditation, take this opportunity to inquire within. Is there something I need to take from this moment? Is there something I can learn from this experience at this time? With your next exhale, slowly release your chin down towards your chest, returning to your normal breathing. Release your hands slowly, wiggling your fingers, maybe rolling your wrists around, blinking open your eyes. With your next inhale, go ahead and lift your chin back parallel to the floor with the eyes open. If you are using your blocks, go ahead and lean back and you can take the blocks out from underneath. We'll now take our legs out using your hands underneath your legs, open them nice and wide. And now if you're extra sensitive like I am and having your heels on the floor for any length of time is uncomfortable, especially if it's a wood floor, you may want to scooch back, continuing to support yourself on your blanket and then keeping your heels on your mat. And so we now move into our sacral chakra, the area of our pelvis. And so when we think of the sacral chakra, we think of our center of creativity, our place where we own ourself, our sexuality. We also, of course, may associate this area with our menstrual cycle. And so this is an area that may have a lot of sensitivity for us. So let's be very, very kind here as we explore. Taking your hands to the floor, let's once again go back to the feet, rolling the ankles, pointing and flexing the toes, noticing how the movement from the very bottom of the feet can be felt all the way up into the hips, because we are one being, one unit. Pressing into your hands, take your heels flat to the floor with the toes pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale and lift through our heart, and then exhale, walk yourself towards your right leg, letting your heart lead towards your foot. And then inhale, walk yourself all the way over towards your left leg. And we're going to exhale and come down over the left leg a little bit. Inhaling, coming back up, walking over towards your right leg. Exhaling and coming down. And you can use your blocks here if you need to bring yourself, bring the floor a little closer to you. We'll inhale, come on up, walking over towards that left leg now. Exhaling and folding just a little bit. Inhaling to come on up. You can move at the pace of your breathing, so taking your time. If there's a call for you to linger a little longer, go ahead and do so. Inhaling to come back up. Exhaling to come down, maybe noticing if you can come a little further each time. Inhaling, maybe your hands walk out a little bit further this time. Exhaling to come down, working into the inner thigh and groin very slowly. These are very thick, ropey muscles, and they need to be in order to hold us upright. However, that means they take a little while to stretch out. So we'll go slow, inhaling up, and exhaling down. Let's do about 3 more rounds here. Taking your time again, maybe working a little bit slower, a little bit lower each time. Maybe walking a little bit past your leg if you want. Maybe both hands come to the outside of your leg, depending on your flexibility. Feeling that work into the inner thigh and groin. Feeling how the pelvis perhaps is coming closer to the floor, rolling the pubic bone closer down to the ground. All right, last round here. Inhaling to come all the way back up to center. Let's exhale and fold straight down into the space between your legs. And so you can use your blocks to bring the floor closer. You can take your forearms to the floor if that works. You can walk yourself as far forward as it feels comfortable. Exploring any discomfort that may come up. Notice if there is some apprehension to let your body feel so exposed, so open. If you are feeling insecure, allow yourself to be covered in a blanket. If having a sense of physical closure would make your body feel safer. Let's just take 2 more breaths in this position. Reaching the heart slightly forward with each inhalation and then rounding a little more through the spine with each exhalation. Finding that ebb and flow of the breath. Now with that third inhale, press into your hands, pull your belly towards your spine, tuck your chin in toward your chest, slowly come up so that the shoulders are once again balanced over the hips. And now as you come to the top, take a moment to wiggle. That was a lot of controlled movement. So if you need to just let yourself be loose, go ahead. And then when you feel ready, we'll place the heels back down on the ground. And we're gonna slide our right hand down our right leg. Inhaling the left arm up towards the ceiling, take your left hand to the back of your head. So you almost as though you can feel your hand cupping the skull. And now as you exhale, we're gonna lean over towards that right leg. Your right hand can bend at the elbow if you like, supported on your leg. You can also use your block, bringing the floor closer. And now we'll let the weight of our head rest back into our hand, lifting up through the rib cage, maybe turning to look up towards the ceiling, feeling the space we're creating from the top of the hip, up through the ribs, all the way up to the elbow. Let each inhalation lift the rib cage a little higher towards the ceiling, making sure that the base of your hips stays connected to the ground. Let's take 1 more big breath in. And now with your exhale, use your left hand to gently turn your gaze down towards the floor, looking at your right leg. Release your left hand down to the ground, and then we'll inhale to slowly come back up and return to center safely. You can take your block over to the left leg now, or let your left hand slide down your left leg. Inhale, the right arm up towards the ceiling, and then we'll exhale the right hands to the back of the head, cupping the skull here. Inhaling to lift 1 more time, then let's exhale and come down, stretching the left arm down the left leg, and then allowing the weight of your head to rest in your hand. Opening the ribs towards the ceiling. Inviting the breath deep into any cracks or crevices, any spaces that feel tight. 2 more full rounds of breathing. Maybe looking upward. With your next exhale, let's use our right hand to slowly turn our head down to look at the left leg. Releasing the right hands down to the ground. Inhale and slowly come back up to center. And now from here, we'll go ahead and move the blocks out of the way once again. Leaning back, take your hands underneath your legs. We're going to pull our legs in. And now I would recommend coming forward off of your prop if you're sitting on a pillow or a blanket of any variety. We're just going to rock the knees side to side. This is one of my most favorite things. This is your built-in booty massager, just rolling the femur over your glutes a little here. Not quite what's happening, but good enough, mortar and pestle like. We just want to grind out any knots we need. All right, and so then when you're ready, we're going to come back to center, tuck your feet in. And now this time, maybe you place your opposite foot on top, changing the direction of the cross of your legs. And of course, you've seen now we're not going to sit for super long time, but you want to sit in a way that feels maximally comfortable. And so your knees can be supported. You can come back onto your blanket. You can also sit on your shins if that would work. This will actually be the last time in our practice today that we will be seated in our meditation. So more different types of meditation to do. All right, so this one is Trimurta Mudra. And this is our gesture of creativity, our gesture of harmony, our gesture of connecting to oneself. And this is very easy to make. And so we'll simply take the thumb and index finger together, forming a triangle. And then we'll hold that triangle right over the pubic bone so that we are holding right directly into our pelvis, sending energy straight into our sacral chakra. And so our sacral chakra is sometimes thought of as this place of one's own self, where we are fully inhabiting the us, the me, the individuality of who we are as beings. And so if you feel comfortable, close your eyes, lifting through the crown of your head here, soft through the elbows, soft through the shoulders. And we'll connect to this idea of harmony. As PMDD people, we often know that harmony and balance is not necessarily a thing we experience all month long. But perhaps there is a balance there if we look at it through a different lens, seeing it with greater equanimity instead of resisting, allowing our sensitivity rather than ignoring it. Connecting to this energy of balance and harmony. We'll connect our breathing to this practice, thinking about breathing in equally through the nose and equally out through the nose. So for example, if you're breathing in for a 4 count, breathe out for a 4 count. Soft through the face, soft through the tongue, letting the breath flow freely, easily in this balanced manner. Our sacral chakra is also a center of fluidity, our ability to go with the flow in life. And so our affirmation for this chakra is I flow easily with life. And now, of course, that saying may immediately trigger some discomfort. Allow it. Sit quietly and breathe evenly. And allow whatever comes up. Know that you are safe. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath as we prepare to exit. I flow easily with life. With your third exhale, go ahead and release your chin down towards your chest. Release your hands away from your pelvis. You can let them rest open on your thighs. Give them your fingers a little wiggle. Maybe rolling your head a little bit. That would feel good. And now from here, we'll open the eyes. Inhaling to slowly bring the chin once again parallel to the floor. Using the hands, we'll lean back, lift the knees, uncrossing the ankles. And now take your blocks towards the short end of your mat, bringing them parallel to one another. And we'll roll over onto our hands and knees from here. You can take your blankets off to the side as well. We'll spend just a little bit of time on our hands today, not too much. And so you can use your blocks if you need to grip a little differently on the floor. Or bring your hands just directly underneath your shoulders. And so coming onto your hands and knees, we want our knees to be about 2 fist width distance apart. You can measure that out. And then taking your hands flat to the ground, check that your shoulders, elbows, and wrists are in alignment. We'll release our head here, gently rolling it side to side, shaking it yes and no. And maybe leaning side to side out through the ribs. Just kind of moving how the body wants to move, stretching how you want to stretch. And then coming back to center when you're ready, we're going to move through a few rounds of cat-cow. And so releasing the head, allowing the crown of the head to reach straight down to the floor. We'll take a full breath in and stay still. And then as you exhale, round the spine, push into the earth, tuck your hips towards your elbows, pressing up into the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale now, let the belly sink towards the floor, tilt the tailbone towards the sky, draw the shoulder blades toward one another and lift the heart. Exhale and round into it again. Press the floor away, hug your belly towards your back, chin towards chest. Inhale and extend forward, thinking about stretching from the navel all the way up through the crown of your head. Exhale and round, thinking about reaching the hips towards the elbows. Inhale to create length and space. Let's do 3 more, moving at the pace of your breath, still matching the length of the inhale, the length of the exhale. Focusing on the movement in the low spine, mid spine, upper spine, and neck. Maybe getting a little cracks out here as things readjust and realign. Allow your next inhale to bring you back to neutral into tabletop. And now if you weren't already using your blocks, go ahead and grab them. We'll take them to medium height, about mat width distance apart. And from here, we're going to shift our weight into our right leg and step our left foot forward. And now if your leg gets stuck, feel free to take your left hand underneath your left leg and help kind of scooch it. And now with the left foot forward, we want to think about taking the left knee approximately over the left heel so that we can sink down into the front of the right thigh. So you may want to tuck the toes under on the right leg and scooch it away a little bit so that you have lots of space there to open into that right hip flexor. And so we'll sink here just a moment, finding some openness through the pelvis, leading on up into our third chakra, into our solar plexus. That's the space where the ribs meet at the front of the body. And so as you feel comfortable, left hand can come to left thigh, and then right hand can come to left thigh. If you have anything going on with your knee, you can also place your blanket under your knees for some added support. If you're feeling good here, inhale, take both arms straight up towards the ceiling. Getting into that getting into all of the chakras here that we're working on today. down the base of the chakra, all the way up to the heart chakra. Opening your hands a little wider, turning the pinky side of your hands towards one another. Let's take one more breath in. And then with your exhale, slowly return your hands down to the ground. We'll keep our right hand with some weight in it, pressing down into the right hand and pulling your chest away from the floor. We'll inhale now and extend our left arm up towards the ceiling, turning to look at that left thumb if that feels comfortable. And then with your next exhale, we'll take our left hand back down to the ground. Push your hips back towards your right knee, and we'll slide our left knee back towards the right. Now shift into the left leg, and we'll take our right foot forward here. Same thing, help it come forward if you need to. Adjust the back leg if you need to. We'll sink into the left hip flexor here, pushing down into the right foot, thinking about pulling the back of the right thigh towards the front of the right thigh. And as you grow comfortable, you can start to come up higher, right hand to right thigh, then the left. Breathing fully, smoothly here. Keep pressing down. With your next inhale, we'll take the arms up. Try to keep your vision focused if you feel a little wobbly. Keep your arms pressing outward slightly and firm your glutes. Make sure that your booty is active in this posture. Let's take one more big breath in. With your exhale, slowly take both hands down to the ground. We're going to hold some weight in this left arm momentarily. Left shoulder should still stack over the wrist. Press down, pull the chest away, and we'll inhale. Right arm goes up towards the ceiling now. Press down, reach a little higher. And then with your exhale, right hand slowly returns back down to the floor. And so from here, start to press your weight back towards your left knee. And now we're going to pause here and step the right hand to the inside of the right foot so that both of our hands are now together once again. We'll tuck the toes under on the left leg. Inhale to lift the left knee. And we're going to turn so that we're facing towards the long edge of our mat with our feet nice and wide here into a wide-legged forward fold. Perfect. So inhale, extend your heart forward just a little bit, and we'll exhale and fold down into the space between our legs. Take a few deep breaths, reaching your weight forward into the feet. You can soften your knees a little bit. Release the crown of your head down towards the ground. And now bending the knees nice and deep. Take your hands to your thighs, tuck your chin towards your chest. Keep your eyes open here. Belly pulls towards your back. Inhale, slowly come up, taking your time, stacking one vertebrae over the other. And then as you come to center, we're going to heel toe our feet slowly together. And so go ahead and take this opportunity, get some water if you want, readjust, pick your wedgie, pick your nose, whatever you've got to do to get comfy. All right. And so when we are thinking about working up into the solar plexus, our solar plexus is a seat of power, especially our willpower. And so I don't know about y'all, but willpower is something I struggle with sometimes. It's hard to maintain routines with PMDD. It's hard to stay on schedule sometimes. And willpower can be one of those things that we lose during luteal. And so this one may put you outside of your comfort zone a lot. And that is totally okay because you are all muted. If you don't make any noise, no one will know. I, however, will be yelling ferociously, and my husband is right down underneath me in his office, so he'll get to enjoy the show. And this next part, this next mudra, this next meditation practice, I hope exemplifies you the breadth of types of practices that you can do to adjust your own energy. And so our next mudra is called Mushtika Mudra, and this is for accessing the solar plexus. So if you don't know where that is, that's the space right where your ribs meet, if you want to check it out. Good to know if you ever want to knock out knock the wind out of someone, take your the hard part of your wrist right into the solar plexus. That would be a good way to do it. And so Mushtika Mudra is very simple. We want to curl the fingers in together, like we're giving the thumbs up sign with the thumbs extended. And then we just bring our fingers together. So just the front of the knuckles come together and the thumbs can come upward. And so to do this mudra, we're going to plant our feet firmly on the floor underneath us. And if you want to kind of stomp a little bit so that you feel like, all right, my feet are on the ground, go ahead and do so. And so now as you press down into your feet, bend your knees a little bit. We're going to hold this mudra right in front of our solar plexus region, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. You may even notice that your hands are starting to get warm. You might be building some heat already. And so this is not a quiet meditation. We are going to do something called Ha Kriya, which is a cleansing practice. So to do this, we'll take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to yell, ha! And you're going to take your hands back. And then we'll inhale. Take your hands back together. Exhale, ha! And you want to think like if you're hitting a punching bag or, you're doing self-defense school of some sort. This is training to let out that excess energy. We want to fire up that willpower, fire up that heat in our core. It's called agony, and we want to fire it up. And so again, hands come together here. Press into the feet. Big breath in. Ha! Let's do 2 more, okay? Inhale. Ha! Ha! Good, all right, go ahead and stand up. And so if you did them, which I did, I am already hot. Those bring so much energy. If you want to come off mute and share how you're feeling, please go ahead and do so. I know those are probably something you haven't done in yoga before. Anyone want to share? No worries, no worries. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and keep moving on here. And so now we're on our feet. We've built all this energy. We have created this sense of willpower in our solar plexus, this sense of creativity and balance in our sacral chakra. And at the base of our spine, we know that we are connected. And so now we want to open our heart. And so I'm going to stand sideways here so you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. But we want to start with just having our feet underneath us, rooted down to the floor. So if you want to open the toes and rock back and forth on your feet, go ahead and do so. And then planting down into your feet, thinking about pressing down into all 4 corners. We're going to take our hands to the small of our back, drawing the shoulder blades and elbows towards one another. You can kind of roll them a couple times, feel like you're getting them into place. We'll support with the thumbs either on the sacrum, holding right onto the back, or maybe a little bit higher, depending on what your arms are comfortable with. And now we'll soften our knees just a little bit. Inhale and push your hips slightly forward over your knees. Exhale and let your shoulders drop back behind you some more. Inhale and lift a little higher through the heart, pressing the hips forward. Exhale and lean back just a little bit, starting to draw the crown of the head away from your hips. One more time. Inhale and press the hips forward a little bit more. Exhale, let the shoulders drop back, reach the crown of the head away from your hips. Keep breathing. Let's take just one more big breath in. Exhale to the deepest you can go. We don't have to go super deep yet. And then we'll inhale, push into your feet, pull your belly toward your back, tuck your chin towards your chest. Keep helping with your hands. Come all the way back to center. Now release your hands down beside you. Keeping your feet down on the floor, we'll inhale, take both arms up overhead. Take your right hand around your left forearm, bend your right knee, and we'll exhale and lean over towards the right. Inhale, push into your right leg, straighten back up to center. Exhale and release both hands down. Pressing into your feet, inhale, extend both arms out, reach up. Left hand around right forearm, left knee bends. Exhale towards the left. Inhale, come all the way back up, pressing into the left foot, straightening arms overhead. Exhale, release both back down. Inhale, press into the feet, reach your arms out, come all the way up. Exhale, take both hands down. We'll place our hands once again along the small of our back. Maybe your feet come a little bit wider this time with your toes turned slightly out, heels turned just a slight bit in. We'll inhale, draw the shoulders up and then back behind the heart, squeezing your elbows together. Soften the knees. Inhale, press the hips forward, lift the heart up. Exhale, lean back, trust your weight in your toes. Inhale, lift the heart up, squeeze your glutes. Exhale and lean back. Last time, inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale and lean back. Wherever you're comfortable, take one more breath in. And out. Press into your feet. Inhale, squeeze your belly towards your back. Use your hands to support, chin tucks towards chest. Go ahead and release your arms. You can go ahead and wiggle it out forward if you want. Practice your twerking. Mine's not very good, obviously. All right, so let's go ahead. And from here, we are going, let me look into my notes, make sure I'm on track with everything. All right. And so taking your hands back down beside you, let's just go ahead and circle our arms. You can do one at a time, both together. All right, from here, release your hands back down beside you. We'll take our feet in so that our feet are approximately 2 fist width distance apart. Pressing down into the bottoms of your feet. We'll bring our hands to our hips and check that our pelvis is neutral and that it's balanced over our feet. Lifting up through the heart, release the shoulders down away from your ears. And now bringing your hands in front of you, we'll interlace our fingers so that our left pinky finger is on bottom and that our palms face toward our own heart. You can imagine as though this were a sun shade bursting back toward our face, sending sun back towards our heart. And so as you stand tall and strong from the bottom of your feet all the way up through the crown of your head, we'll now use our gesture of self-trust, knowing that we can trust ourselves, shining the light of our own love back at ourselves. Beaming all of the happiness, self-compassion, and patience that we have with others back toward ourselves. Standing in our own radiant confidence, we'll move our breath into equal breathing once more, with a focus on the breath happening deep in the diaphragm, allowing the chest to stay still and receive the love of your hands as your diaphragm rises and falls with your breathing. And so as you breathe, drop the breath down into the belly, allowing the belly to expand with your inhalation and gently deflate with the exhalation. Breathing slowly and evenly here. If it would feel comfortable for you to pause in between your breaths, you may feel as though you can breathe in for a 4 count, pause for a 4 count, breathe out for a 4 count, and then pause again for a 4 count. as you continue to breathe, you can affirm, I love myself unconditionally. Observing if there are any voices that wish to argue with that statement. Can continue to return to the idea, I love myself unconditionally. Let's take 3 more breaths here. With your next exhale, you can slowly release your hands, dropping your chin down towards your chest. If your eyes were closed, you can allow your eyelids to slowly blink open, maybe wiggling your fingers a little bit or pressing into the shoelace part of your feet and cracking your toes. Again, you can shake out your legs, let your muscles be loose. And then as you feel ready, slowly inhale to lift your chin from your chest. So we'll join our hands now in front of our heart, taking a moment to collect in all of the different things that we have felt during our practice today. Knowing that we have plugged in to our sense of safety and security, that we have honored and acknowledged and transmuted any energies of disharmony or imbalance, anything impeding our willpower or diminishing our self-trust. Feeling grateful for the time that we made today to practice yoga and to give ourselves this time and attention. Touching our thumbs to our forehead, reminding us to live with an open mind. And then bringing our thumbs to our heart, reminding us to love with an open heart. It's been my honor to guide you through your practice today. We can acknowledge one another with Namaste. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.